This caused a lot of controversy the other day. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director asks the modding community not to create or install anything inoffensive or inappropriate. And I'm going to piss a lot of people off today, which is fine. This is actually a correct thing. And there's no reason people should be outraged by this or upset by the call. I've seen a lot of people on X going off saying, hey, I'm going to do what I want, et cetera, et cetera. But here, look, an artist is directly asking you not to create pornography of his game and actually to let his art stand. That's a reasonable thing. He is the artist. He's the one doing things. And, you should respect that. I respect that a lot. And I think in this day and age when the porn has really pushed the mind virus of everybody out of control, that's where wokeism stems from, is people's weird sexual fetishes, which comes from the proliferation of pornography, that this is something that needs to be said more and more often, because we do need to shift the culture in a better direction, which is what we're doing here. Now, I know that's going to upset a lot of people, and I am not apologetic about that, because I know the direction we need to go, and of course I know a lot of people are with me as well, and so we are going to call it like it is, and I think this is a good thing, and we're going to get into why in just a moment. Please smash that like and subscribe button. Join us here. This is the real difference in culture. Of course, this is like the hardline stand. A lot of people tried to cancel not only me, but people like Melanie Mack last week because of just taking a stance saying porn is a bad thing. And of course, this is a big attempt to get Christians out of the culture war. And it's really, really a bad tactic on these people's faults, because if you don't have the Christians with you, you're not fighting the culture war. You're just doing the same old Hollywood crap, but I guess less so. You want diet schlock instead of schlock? I don't know. Some people are like that, but I know this is a different community. I know this is a smarter community than a lot of people here, which is why we are growing at such a rapid rate. All right, so this is my Phantom Pulse Substack, where I'm working on things with John Trent. We are the only people reporting on stuff like this in gaming, so please subscribe to this right now. I'm a fantasy author as well, and if you've read my Adventures of Baron von Monocle, this is a clean read, by the way. The entire series is a 6-book series, good for all ages, and that's what I'm trying to write here, doing things like that, because the original Final Fantasies were all good for all ages. They were fantastic on that level. I played them when I was a kid. My favorite, of course, is Final Fantasy VI, and I have a lot of references to that game in this fantasy world right here. It's about an airship crew who's traveling around fighting monsters. Surprise, surprise. And so if you like Final Fantasy, if you like the classics there, you're going to absolutely love this series. So grab this. It's in the description below. Get all 6 books today. They're on ebook, print, and audio. And of course, support the difference in culture. We're not just talking about things. We are creating the culture we want, guys. That's the difference between us and a lot of the others out there. And I appreciate you for being here. So here's what Naoki Hamaguchi said, the director of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. He asked the PC modding community not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate ahead of the game's release to PC, which is coming very, very soon. Square Enix announced that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was coming to PC back on December 12th at the Game Awards. It's been a PS5 exclusive so far. And of course, following the announcement, Hamaguchi spoke with Epic Games Store and revealed Square Enix has no plans for official in-game mod support, which is normal for Square Enix. He added, "We respect the creativity of modding and community. We welcome their creations." This is good. And again, read what he's saying and don't react, because the guy's just making an ask of you as the community, as an artist. And I think this is, again, very smart. We ask modders not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate. And this is obviously just like talking about making pornographic things of these characters. And that's what they want not to be done. And I think that's fair. This is his creation. Back in the day, this would have been something like, again, the artist is the one who should be respected here, because they're the ones that are working very, very hard on things. These days, everybody's in this kind of mode where it's like, I do whatever I want. You can't tell me what to do. And there are a lot of problems with pornography on the internet, which we do call out here, because again, that whole culture has really destroyed us. That is what's creating everything woke. The reason that the LGBTQ everything isn't everything is because it is a sexual fetish that they've not just, done in the quiet of their own homes to be private and to have their own thing and not be bothered. It's the fact that they're parading in the streets, that they're trying to push it on children now. They're having drag shows for kids all over the country. They're doing them at comic book stores, trying to actively push this type of thing out on everybody so they can feel seen or something, or so that they can force everybody into degeneracy. I think it's a whole satanic thing to try to get the culture destroyed, and it probably is a communist plot, which has started back in the 1960s armies as well, to, of course, bring down America's cultural prowess, because we are and were the best in the world. And of course, when you are just fixed on mind rot all day long, you don't have that kind of thing. That's my honest opinion. So this is something that, again, is a good thing. It's a respectful ask, and the people who are complaining about this are not being respectful to true artists, and this is what is really, really sad in today's day. I will likely be ignored by a number of modders who will immediately create pornographic LGBTQ and other degenerate mods, like I've been saying. There's tons of negative effects that come with viewing pornography. Of course, in the long term, pornography seems to create sexual dysfunctions, especially the inability to achieve an erection or orgasm with a real-life partner. Marital quality and commitment to one's romantic partner also appear to be compromised. And this is very important stuff to notice, guys, and I hate to have to do this because I know this is just a channel about entertainment and the like, but the entertainment does matter. And Final Fantasy is a property that should be respected. I think it's something that I revere as like one of the top 10 properties ever made, and I want it to actually be upheld as something that's a good thing and that provides good fantasy stories and good entertainment and not degeneracy, because that is already so permeated in our culture. Now, like I said, there's pushback on this type of things. The cancellation attempts have been weird, and it's been really sad this last week. Watching it all happen, watching how hard people have been going on saying, you're just pro-censorship. This is nothing about censorship. It's an ask for you not to do something. They're not actively hurting you or anything like that. They're not infringing upon your rights, but this is their art. And so, it is something that, it's quite the opposite. When you try to cancel somebody over saying, I don't like this, that is, in fact, the censorship. And the people who are pushing that hard and are pushing that hard line are the most censorious people I've seen out there. It's been absolutely crazy just watching the nastiness that's been thrown out there. I used to work for a site called Bounding Into Comics, and Bounding Into Comics was a site where I wrote for, and John Trent wrote for before we went to Fandom Pulse, for example. Bounding Into Comics got bought by a corporation, and immediately they censored us because our opinions on stuff like this were too hot for them. They wanted to just make it into a milquetoast generic gaming site like IGN or Kotaku. And of course, they have just circled the drain over there. Their views have gone down as a result because they're not speaking truth anymore. And the ability to speak truth without being censored is very, very important to us. And so this is quite the opposite. We are not the ones censoring. These are the people who are pushing hard for a culture that's all degenerate, that's all LGBTQ, that's all identity politics, and then they want you silenced for saying anything different. Now, Bounding Into Comics went really crazy last week. The purveyor of the YouTube channel right now actually went out and tried to cancel Melanie Mack for saying something very similar to this message. And what happened on that was the dude actually created or reposted a photoshopped image of Melanie Mack in a pornographic sort of look. It was a fake image, and of course, he put it out there trying to demean her and, of course, try to pose her as a hypocrite, which she's not, and then got roasted for it as a result. So this is who's in the corporate media. This is exactly who we're fighting against. People at Bounding Into Comics are censoring Christians. Christians are the ones being censored out there in the culture. We're trying to be forced out of the public square, and it is a bad thing as it goes forward, and that's why we are doing this on Substack, where we don't have to bow to advertiser pressures or anything like that, and we can tell our message just as it is. So I appreciate this. This is a great take from the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director. I'm very, very excited for this to come to PC, and I hope that you are too, and I hope that you'll be playing it, because I think actually the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is really well done, and I really enjoy it. Not as much as I enjoyed the old game, because nothing can really replace that, but it is really nice to revisit this again. Love this Final Fantasy series, and yeah, I think I'm going to go play some Final Fantasy over the Christmas break here. How about you? Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. It's okay to disagree. I appreciate you here anyway, guys, and I want to have you like and subscribe as we talk about all things in culture, especially video games involving fantasy. And please, if you like things, if you like good quality storytelling, and if you love Final Fantasy, you're going to really enjoy my series. Go grab this. It's in the description below. There are 6 books in the series and tons of Final Fantasy references in here, because that is something I grew up on and I absolutely love. I appreciate you for being there. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll be back soon.